Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings and welcome to Motivate Social Podcast, where we bring you people who are changing the world via social media. I am Dr. Akina Finch, and my lovely co-host is Vanessa Canterbury. So how are you doing today, Vanessa?
I am great. How are you?
I am ecstatic. Things couldn't be better. And, of course, I'm super excited about our guest tonight. Can you tell us about her?
Absolutely. I met this lady through social media. We have connected and made it an amazing mission to be able to keep on empowering other people. And I've been watching her, and she is unveiling the mask and helping women to be able to understand that you are more than. And so with that, Nakia Evans, I thank you so much for you to be able to share your message with us. And so welcome to Changing Minds Online. How are you doing this evening?
I am great. Thank you so much for both having me.
You are more than welcome. So, as the audience wants to know, how are you changing lives through social media?
Well, one thing that I love to do is to help women unmask themselves. And so, through my social media, Facebook, Twitter, videos, and different things like that, I am trying to empower women on realizing their identity, their spiritual identity, who they are, who they belong to, and also help encourage them to unmask themselves, to let go of anything that is not their true authentic self, to be able to discover who they really are.
Wow, that is a great mission. A lot of people don't even take the time to do that, let alone think of more than themselves. And for you to be using your time and your data and your value to go and help others, that is wonderful. And I know that you mentioned unveiling the mask. Can you tell us more about that? That sounds very intriguing.
Yes. Well, one thing that I've learned through my own personal experience is that, sometimes there are situations and circumstances that we encounter, different things that we go through. And because, we're hurt or because we're feeling some type of way concerning what we're dealing with, we mask ourselves. We hide that pain, we bury it, we throw it under a rug, and we leave it there. Sometimes we never deal with those things. We just try to cover it up. Another thing is that, sometimes we have been taught that, showing your emotions or expressing how you feel is a form of weakness. And so, we say things like, it's okay, it's all good, it is what it is. Those are those terms that we use when, and in reality, we're really hurting. We're really, there's things that we need to really deal with. And so we do those things, we mask ourselves, and we become this whole other person. And basically what I want women to do is to understand that, number one, showing your emotions is not weakness. It's your strength, because you have strength to face that pain. You have strength to face that situation. Secondly, understanding who you are truly, not who you pretend to be, not who you want to be, but who you are. I truly believe that there's a battle that we face concerning the person we want to be and the person we truly are. Sometimes we can't face who we truly are because we're spending time pretending to be someone else. And so when we talk about removing that mask and unveiling ourselves, it is basically, coming face to face with that pain, with that situation, with the words that somebody may have spoken over you, or with anything that may have happened, any situation at all. We come face to face with that so that we can deal with it. We can, allow our emotions to go. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get upset. It's okay. But the key is understanding that, facing that, realizing that, and then being able to heal and move from it. So unmasking and unveiling is basically the process of dealing with that pain, that situation, that issue, and allowing ourselves to heal and be our true authentic self.
Wow. Wow. That is so needed. It's so needed because for many reasons where women feel they are alone. We are too busy taking care of the family, and we forget about ourselves. And we are not taking care of ourselves like we take care of others. And so now we have layers and layers of masking to do. So that alone, I commend you for just encourage these ladies to be able to know that you can't heal from what you're not willing to face.
That's true. Right.
And so one of the things that I wanted to ask you is that what made you want to help other women to unmask whatever they're dealing with? What caused you to be able to do this amazing thing? Because sometimes people are not bold enough to be able to say, you know what, it's okay to reveal your true self and to accept your, to be able to walk in your truth. It's okay. It may not look pretty to you, but you went through the things that you went through for a reason. But now you can be able to share that with someone else. So what made you go into this field of empowering other ladies to be able to say, it's time. Let's reveal your true self.
Right. Well, because I know how it feels to be masked. I share my story a lot, and I tell people that my unmasking journey started last year. I am 32 years old, and I did not start this journey until, actually I was 30, about to turn 30, 31. It was January of last year, January 2015, and I started my unmasking journey. So from a very young age as a child up until the age of 30, I carried a lot of baggage, a lot of issues, a lot of situations that I had been through. I carried that. My masking process started at the age of 7 when I was molested. And once that happened, that changed my thinking, that changed, how I saw myself, how I wanted people to see me. I started covering myself. I started, adapting to different environments, whichever environment I was in. I wanted to be a person that fit in, because I was afraid that if people saw the true me, that they wouldn't like that true me, because the true me was hurting. She was hurting. She had problems. She was confused. And so I transformed into every situation and every environment that I was in. And it got to a point where I did not realize who I was. And so I had to get to a point where enough was enough. And, I wanted to figure out who I was. I was tired of pretending. I was tired of trying to be this for someone and be that for someone and be this for someone, and changing and, covering up how I really, truly felt. I would smile when I was really crying and dying on the inside. And nobody could see that because of the mask that I portrayed, because of that mask that I wore. And so I know what it's like. I know how we may feel in that situation. But the great thing about it is that I also know the process of unmasking. I know the painful part. I know how painful it can be to face that situation again, to, have to deal with it. But the greatest thing is that I know how life is past that point. I know how wonderful life is being who Kia truly is. Not what I want it to be, not what people want it to be, or what I thought I should be, but being who I truly am. And understanding that I'm God's daughter, I'm His child, and my authentic self is the woman that He created me to be. Not what everybody else wants, but what He wants. And so, because I know that pain and because I know that situation, it's my heart's desire to be able to take women through that process and say, baby, listen, I know what you may be feeling. I understand, but let me show you that there's something greater over here. Let me show you that your true authentic self is more powerful than this woman that you pretend to be. She can do more than who you pretend to be. And so that's why I do this. That's why I started this. God laid it on my heart, and I fought my process. When I say I fought it, I really fought it hard, because I told God, this pain is too deep. It hurts too much. I don't want to do it. So I know how easy it is for some women to say, I don't want to deal with that. I'm done with that. We say those words and we be like, it's over, I'm done, when it's really not. So that's the purpose of why I do what I do.
Wow. You just basically knocked down a lot of walls in that one segment there. I mean, a lot of people believe that they have to be, the wall of Gibraltar, so to speak. They have to be standing tall, and they can't fall, and they can't show any sensitivity, and they can't show people that they're crying. They have to go in the back and kick the wall and then come out smiling, because that's what society has told you that that's supposed to be. They shun vulnerability. They shun the truth a lot of times, and we need to be in a place where we can express ourselves truthfully. We don't need to be in a place where they tell us to hide our feelings, and that is where a lot of people have been living their lives. It starts from childhood. Family business stays in the house. Don't take your family business outside the house. And then it goes into other things of that nature. And you just hit it on the head. You just said it's okay to be you.
Right.
And that's not a message that a lot of people are getting. They get, what society says, what the people say, what this say, what the that say. But you're saying it's okay to be you. You're coming with a fresh, new perspective to many different people, and I have to applaud you for that. So with that new, fresh perspective, I assume that sometimes you have to stand alone in spite of your
Very
beliefs.
much so. Yes.
So tell us about how that feels and how you keep pressing anyway.
Well, I had to learn that, for me, myself, I had to learn that, it was okay for me to show my true self. It was okay for me to cry. It's okay for me to get mad. I grew up in that mindset that, like you stated, you don't go out and tell family business, you keep everything in this house. You stop crying and because that makes you weak, or when you do these things and something's wrong with you, and then, the name calling, starts. And so we've been taught to build these walls and do these things. When God took me through the process of me healing, what I also had to understand is that when I go to God, He doesn't want that hard person. He wants my vulnerability. He wants my transparency. He wants me to be that. He wants me to show Him how I feel and express how I feel. And so, that was another thing. We taught that you go to Him a certain way, and now I've learned that I can go to Him how I want to, in my own way. I come to Him, as a child. I come to Him, if I cry, if I want to cry, I can cry. And that has left me standing to the side because a lot of people don't agree with that. And when I came into that realization of that's what I needed to do, then I started that teaching with my daughter. Because mind you, I started my process a year ago. My daughter is 12 years old. So, of course, because of how we are taught, I was also teaching my daughter the same thing. You keep this in the house, you don't tell our business, you stop all that crying, just shrug it off and keep going. No, that's not okay. I was teaching my daughter to wear a mask. I was teaching her to build these walls. Now I have it, I'm teaching and pouring into her, listen, it's okay. If you're upset, tell me that you're upset. If you want to cry, cry. Like, you don't have to be so hard because that's not who you are, in that it's okay to show that part of you because, what we don't understand is that is the beautiful part of us. When we can express our feelings, when we can say how we feel. I love it when I'm able to go to God freely and I don't have to puff up or create this image of myself and go through this process. but I can go to him as I am, just truly as I am. A lot of people do not agree with that, and yes, sometimes that does have me standing off. But I still try to express, love, and let people know it's okay. It's okay, and and it's just a process of knocking those walls down, because we're taught that way, and because we think that way, that allows these super duper walls to come up. And just by loving a person and letting them know, hey, it's okay to cry. It's okay to to be upset. It's okay as long as you don't stay there. It's okay to get sad as long as you don't stay there. Deal with it and let's get over it. Not as far as just forgetting about it, but deal with that pain. Talk about it. Express it. Find your healing from it. Allow that healing to come in so you can walk away freely. So I push because, like I said, I know how it feels, and I want women to understand that we don't have to be these tough people. We don't have to, be women who have all these walls up and try to cover ourselves, because we're beautiful. The Bible says we're fearfully and wonderfully made. God, He wants us as He created us to be, as we are. He doesn't want us to have all these walls and things. It's a process, and I want women to understand that it's okay, no matter what, as long as you don't stay there. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Let's heal from it, and then you walk away freely. You walk away as your authentic self. You walk away as the woman God created you to be, not what other people think you should be. So I push because I want women to see that, and my joy and my heart's desire is to see women healed and living freely and whole.
That is absolutely amazing, what you said, and it just to be able to encourage other people that it doesn't take you to be. There's no age limit for healing. It's going to take some time, but as long as you recognize that this is a problem right here, I need to do whatever that's necessary because I'm tired. I'm constantly keep doing the same thing over and over again. And when you say, that sometimes you just got to remove that mask, it reminds me of something that I wrote in my book calling Removing the Layers. Mm-hmm. We have to remove those layers because we could continue on building something like the makeup, right? They build this makeup. You could be real fancy on the outside, but you bitter, broken down, miserable, and everything else on the inside. And now all you're doing is transferring that same hurt and pain to whomever you come in contact with. Why? Because you never healed from whatever caused you that pain. And so that's important. That is very, very important to be able to say, you know what? It's okay. I'm broken right now. But I'm willing to do the work so I can be able to don't feel this way, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to smile, and you don't have to have a forced smile. You know what I mean? And so for you to be able to teach this to your daughter at an early age, so yes, Mama did learn a little bit later, but that doesn't mean that you have to go through what I went through. I took the hit on your behalf. And so I totally commend you to do that and to be bold enough to be able to say, okay, it took me longer. However, I want to teach somebody else, and I'm going to start with my own home front of the healing process. So thank you. Thank you very much for doing that, because we don't need any more women that's bitter, broken, and everything else. And we are some strong women. We are so strong. And somebody need to understand that strong people, we do get weak at times. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you should be left out. You should be voided out. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
So one of my questions is to you is that I see that you had something that was going on, and I want you to be able to share that. And it's a collaboration that I've seen of the is I'm not mistaken, is there a book that's coming out?
That is correct, yes.
I want you to take this opportunity to be able to share more about this book and And what would people be? I know they'd probably be shocked as heck because this is an amazing information that you're dropping. So go ahead, take that moment to be able to share more about the book. I want to hear about the book because I'm interested.
All right, thank you. The book is called The Woman Behind the Mask. And this is something that God had given me a couple of months ago, and I never thought that it was going to be a collaboration. When he first gave it to me, I thought that it was just, I was going to write it. And the crazy thing about it is when I started it, I couldn't write it. It wasn't working. And so I put the pen and paper down, and I prayed, and God showed me that this was going to be a collaboration of other women. And so basically what this book is 14 of us, 13 women plus myself, and we are sharing our stories. And, it's so awesome because as the stories are coming in, I see stories of different things. This book has a variety of situations that women have encountered, whether it be from a weight issue, molestation or rape, or divorce, or being a single mom, or, being in an abusive relationship. These stories are a variety, and they allow you to see their transparency. It allows you to see their pain, and it shows you how these women have overcome these situations. And so, I'm shocked about how everything is coming together. And, we have a lot of people that's interested in the book. The book will be released in September of this year, so we're almost there. I'm really, really excited about it. But what I want women to take from this is to see that there is no situation that's too big, no situation that's too small that you can't get out of, that you can't heal from, that you can't unmask yourself from. One thing that I like to tell people a lot is that, sometimes you have to detox yourself. Just as we take different things to detox our body from, harmful things, we need to learn how to detox our minds, detox our hearts and our spirits, because situations hurt us, different things bother us, and, people speak words over us, and we carry that. As women, we are emotional. We cling to things, we hold on to things just a tad bit harder than we should. And in this book, we're describing these situations and allowing women to see, like, listen, I went through this, so I understand this pain. But let me show you how I got out of it. Let me tell you how my unmasking process, my unveiling process was. And so the 13 women that I have with me are extremely amazing. And my prayer to God was, okay, God, you send the correct people. And I had people come and, they didn't last. And I was like, the people, as I start reading these stories, I'm like, okay, God, these are the people that you wanted to be on this project. These are the people that you wanted to write for this, because when I tell you that the stories are amazing, they are. I work, with dealing with being authentic and things like this, but let me tell you, these stories have also poured into me. These women have also poured into me and empowered me even the more to keep pushing, to keep going, to keep helping women do the process, take the process. Yes, it's going to hurt, but baby, you can do it. And so this is going to be great. And, I'm extremely excited. I'm humbled. I'm grateful to God of what he's doing. And, once September hits, everybody gets the book and just be able to sit and read these stories. And I pray that it encourages. I pray that it transforms and it empowers other women's lives to completely understand that whatever situation you're hiding behind, there is an amazing woman that's back there. And she's waiting to be unveiled. She's waiting to come forth. Because I truly believe that you can't get to your purpose unless you're your authentic self. What God has for you, only your true authentic self can get there. Your pretend person, she can't. So I'm praying that, women get that from this book.
Wow, that is awesome. I am so, so happy for you. And please send us that information so we can post it on the page. and let people know about it as well, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, and I just want to get your final word for the audience, as well as where they can find you and they can find your programs, because I know with you teaching people how to unveil the mask, there should be several programs for them to get all this wonderful goodness that you're providing. So tell us about those.
Absolutely. Well, you can follow me on Facebook, Nakia P. Evans. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, at Nakia_Evans1. We do have programs. Our programs will be launching in about 2 weeks. In August, I will be launching Authentically You Institute. And this institute will provide trainings, it will provide programs, different things, support, resources for women on unmasking, being the true woman that God has created you to be, different things like that, understanding who you are, your spiritual identity. So we're going to have classes and programs centered around that. And then we're also going to transform it where women can understand that now that I am my authentic self, let me show you how to rock out your social business, So we're also going to do different programs on social media and advertising and things like that after we show women about being true, taking your story and being authentic and then, building from that. Because, I know the process and, it has blessed me. And so I want to show women how to do that. So Authentically You Institute will be launching in August. That will be coming, very soon. And, you can go to my website, which will be up in about 2 weeks, which will be www.NakiaPEvans.com. That is in progress. We're kind of revamping some things, so that will be available as well. But keep out for the book, and just follow us on Facebook and things like that. But what I do want to tell women is, just search for that person. When I first started my journey, I made a video and I said I had a glimpse of my authentic self, and I wanted to meet that person. And that video was, a while back. And now what I can truly say is that, first of all, I would never say that I'm completely there, because I never believe that we truly arrive at the full place, because if that's the case, then we don't continue to grow. When we feel like we have arrived, then we stop growing, we stop learning. So I would never say that. But what I will say is that who I am now is much better than who I used to be. I'm more freer. I feel like I'm living in my purpose that God has created for me. As, I started my journey, God has opened amazing doors, and these things have started happening. My magazine, I wasn't able to do a magazine until I went through this process, And I truly believe that once we get to understanding who we are and being who God wants us to be, that things start to fall in place. So search for that woman. Search for who she is. Learn yourself. I had to date myself. I had to figure out who Kia was, because I had no idea. I had to really, truly figure out what my favorite color was and what things I liked at the age of 30. At the age of 30. So, I pretended in things for so long until I had no clue who I was. And so I want to encourage you to push to know that person, date yourself, understand yourself, study yourself, see the things that you like, and no matter what, yearn and move forward to being who God created you to be, because that is the best thing you can ever, ever, ever do, is being who He created you to be. Don't worry about any outside negativity and words and situations. You continue to be who He created you to be.
Wow, that is wonderful, Nakia. And if Nakia said something to you tonight that resonated with you, please find this podcast and many more at changingmindsonline.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and, of course, our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show tonight. We truly appreciate you. You have some wonderful nuggets, and thank you so much for sharing them.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And Vanessa, do you have any closing words for us tonight?
Make sure you connect with her and to be able to reveal your true self. This has just been absolutely amazing because you're worth it.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the podcast tonight. We'll continue to bring you people who are changing the world via social media. So until next time, thank you and have a good night.
Good night.
Nice.